Hi folks, hope you're okay today. It's good to be with you. Just making one last video, just talking about some of the people that I've met in street preaching, and just say that I've really enjoyed it. Like I said, I'm busy at the moment with church and helping my church, doing evangelism and other stuff. But from time to time I am getting out street preaching here and there. Had some great times over the last few weeks in Market Street. Preached some, really enjoyed preaching. One day I preached non-stop for 7 hours and it tired me out. But I had some really good conversations. Had a really smart conversation with a Muslim guy who was studying neuroscience a few weeks ago, and had a good conversation. He was making the usual Matt Delunty argument about science progresses, and you know, whatever we don't know now, science will help us to understand in the future. And I made the point that that was a fallacy. It doesn't necessarily mean that we are going to find out the answers to certain things. And we talked about consciousness, and I asked him to define consciousness, and we were talking about that, and little did I know that he was going to specialise in neuroscience. So that was an interesting conversation, and he said I'm one of the best Christians he's ever chatted to for a discussion. I had a few discussions with some young people the other day, and they were talking about open relationships and can't we modernise and you know, the Bible catch up to the modernisation. And I said that God is eternal and He's made His Word, and His Word is eternal, and you know, God knows the best plan for how we have relationships, and it's between a man and a woman in marriage. And so, you know, I was able to deal with that. When I was at theological seminary, we had theologians that had these kind of ideas, so I was able to answer the questions on those kind of things. Yeah, there's been quite a few young people that have been quite thoughtful recently. Interesting that, you know, often you meet every now and again like one or two people who are just closed, who are agnostics or atheists, but generally speaking having quite a lot of good conversations with people, and so long as you're respectful to them, they'll listen to you. So just to say that you know, from time to time I will be getting into other cities, other towns, other villages, when I get the chance, around the country, various universities, places that I enjoy going to talk to students. So please pray for my ministry, that I'll get out to do more evangelism. Pray that I work with teams. There are teams that I have worked with. I've lost contact recently because I'm doing a lot more for my church, but just pray that I link up with old friends and get on with working with teams doing street preaching and evangelism. I really enjoy it and I love doing it. Just pray that I get more opportunity to preach in churches. Been doing that recently, preaching in other churches and stuff. I did a Bible study for one church a few weeks ago, and I really enjoyed that. And so just pray that I get more invitations to preach in other churches, because I really enjoy that. And I'd like to teach more systematically, you know, so pray that the doors would open for that, because you know, there's a big need. I was talking to a leader of a church just today, and he was saying that their church supplied something like 13 other churches for preachers, so this one church had to send out preachers for 13 other churches because the other churches didn't have preachers coming up. And you know, that's one of my gifts. That's what I enjoy most of all, is preaching, teaching the word. So I just pray that in God's time that God would open doors for that. And that's it really. I'm just telling you about my ministry in evangelism. It's going well. I'd like to pastor a church in the future. It's a prayer that I get a call. I'm feeling much better than I've ever been, and I feel like you know, in the future, you know, maybe in another 6 months' time, I could take more responsibility in taking more of a central leader's role in a church that might call me. But at the moment I'm happy where I am. I'm happy helping the pastors there, supporting them, and just relaxing and enjoying being part of a family. And you know, I just want to give my pastor support and encouragement. But eventually I hope that God will call me somewhere, maybe next year, to a church, or in a couple of years' time, to pastor, if that's God's will. But if not, I'm happy doing what I'm doing, evangelism. But my call was feed my lambs when I was called. My calling was feed my lambs. That was 3 times in the service, and my calling is to teach that word, to teach the Bible. So yeah, so thanks for praying for me, thanks for rooting for me. I'm great, I'm doing fine, keeping away from the atheists. I've made 1 video today, but I'm keeping away from them, but they're still coming after me. So I'm behaving myself, I'm getting on with my life, and getting on with ministry, and just pray that God will bless what I'm doing. And I'll be praying for everybody out there, all the Christians out there, and the atheists, and you know, may God bless you all. And I might make some videos next week or in a couple of weeks' time. But take care. Pray I can get my computer sorted. I need a new computer, but I don't want any help from any atheist or anybody. I'm happy to get that sorted myself. Alright, take care, and God bless, and have a lovely day. Take care. Bye now.